Hi, I'm Matt from Tubby Tarot, and today I want to show you 3 alternate decks that can be used by anyone who is into the Gothic scene or the darker side of cartomancy. It's coming up right after this. Hi and welcome back. Okay, so you are a witch, or if not a witch, you are following the Gothic path perhaps. And yes, we know that you are interested in the whole Anne Rice series, and we know that you watch every single vampire film that's out there and that sort of thing. And yes, I understand that you have every dark deck available, but there are some decks, 3 decks in particular, that I want to recommend to you that perhaps you don't have, and perhaps you have overlooked these 3 decks because you perhaps don't think of them as Gothic decks or as dark decks. And whilst I might agree with you about the dark decks, I think you might enjoy these 3 decks as Gothic decks. So many times I know a lot of Gothic people because, believe it or not, in my day, when I was young and I rode my black dinosaur into town, I was fully Gothic. And I believe that no matter how old you are, you can never kill that little goth that's inside of you. Even though I look grey and elderly now, there is still that little goth in me. I still like the darker things in life. But I don't always want to work with dark decks like, the Night Sun deck and that sort of thing. I don't want to read with those things. I like to try and find darker elements within other decks, and well, I want to share these 3 decks with you. So let me start by introducing you to the Rackham Tarot. Okay. Now, Arthur Rackham is a very, very famous, he's dead now, but he was a very famous illustrator, and he did amazing illustrations of fairies. Now, we all know fairy decks. Okay, I'm not a huge fairy deck fan. I have 1 or 2 very specifically chosen fairy decks, and this is one of them. But Arthur Rackham has a very specific style of drawing. And this deck is amazingly, I would say, it's not dark, it's dim, if that makes any sense. Okay, so let me show you 1 or 2 of the cards, and then you can kind of have a look and see what I mean. Now, I believe this deck would fit into any Gothic collection or even any dark deck. The style of the drawings just reminds me of that foresty, almost Brothers Grimm kind of thing. Like, look at that. It's just, I think, the palette, in the color palette in this deck. I mean, here's the strength card. Now, what they have done in this deck is they have actually taken, Rackham's illustrations, and what they've done is they've simply placed them on the cards. These illustrations are not specifically for a tarot deck. But as you can see, I'm going to show you 1 more. It really is a deck that, if you are Gothic, it is something that you can pull out as an alternative to perhaps your vampire tarot, which really, let's face it, everyone's got a vampire tarot, and it's so last season, dear, really. Why don't you start looking at something like this? Darker fairy tale, darker, almost, as I say, or sort of Grimm's fairy tale kind of imagery. It really is a beautiful deck. As you can see, that is the back of the deck, and it has a very dark, whimsical feel to it. It's also a deck that reads really nicely. So that's one that I'm going to recommend. It's the Rackham Tarot. The next one I'm going to recommend is a Mages Only deck, and it is a historical deck, okay, and it's called the Golden Visconti Tarot. Let me show you the box. Beautiful tarot. The Golden Visconti. This is only 22 cards. It is only the major arcana. okay? And it is based on the very first tarot deck that was found, and I do believe that the originals to these cards are in a museum in Italy. So please correct me if I'm wrong down below in the comments. I could be wrong. But again, this is a deck that is so Machiavellian, as they would say. Look at that. It has got gold leaf in it, the gold plating. But I just think that this would be a deck that definitely you could use this in place of your vampire deck or your Necronomicon deck, anything like your Edgar Allan Poe stuff. It's dark enough and yet much more beautiful. And sometimes we want to just use the major arcana. I'm trying to find. Oh, here's the Hangman. We don't want to use all 78 cards. And this would be a wonderful alternate to your usual go-to dark deck. There's the Death card. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And strangely enough, this deck is not terribly expensive. I think because it's only the major arcana, it's not terribly expensive. Look at this Devil card. I mean, you can't tell me that if you pull that out, that is not Gothic. That is not a dark image. And yet it is so rich with imagery, and it's so rich with just the gold itself just makes it such an incredible card and such an incredible deck. So I do believe that you could use this as well. It's a definite deck that can be used as a dark deck, or it can be added to your Witchy tarot collection. All right. It is called the Golden Visconti Tarot. Okay, the last deck I want to tell you about is one of the very first decks I ever bought, believe it or not. And I keep it in a very special wooden box with my little elephant on. Okay, and this is a deck that, funny enough, not many people are aware of this deck, and it's so weird because it's such an incredible deck, and it's not a traditional dark deck. It's not really a dark deck at all. It's not really a deck that if you are into Gothic decks or if you are into Witchy decks, you would probably ever look at, but I am going to recommend it. Now, I edged mine in red, okay? That is the back of the deck. Can you guess what this deck is? Anybody have this deck? Okay, it is the Tarot Apocalypsis. Tarot Apocalypsis, easily available. I'll put the link down below. Very, very reasonably priced, not a very expensive deck, and yet this deck is sumptuous, is the word. And I want to show you a few things. Here's the Death card. Okay. Look at that. Yes, I know it's not all doom and gloom. I know it's quite a bright deck for my Gothic friends. But look at the actual artwork on this in this deck. The artwork is phenomenal. Yes, it is bright, but you know, bright doesn't necessarily mean non-Gothic. Bright doesn't necessarily mean not a dark deck. I mean, where is the Strength card? Here we have Kali riding her tiger. The imagery in this deck is amazing, and it's very spiritual. And I believe that the Gothic movement is a spiritual movement. To me, it always has been. I find anyone who is following a Gothic path is generally a lot more spiritual than most people who follow a religious path. So I do believe that this would be an amazing deck. Here's the Ten of Swords. For anyone who is into sort of Gothic stuff, or the slightly darker stuff in life. It's just a really, really cool deck. And as I say, it is called the Tarot Apocalypsis. Easy to get hold of, really amazing deck. It is by Lo Scarabeo, and it is, as I say, freely available. Tarot Apocalypsis. So there are 3 decks that I personally feel can fit into any Gothic tarot collection. You don't have to have only ghosts, vampires, zombies as a Gothic person or a Gothic tarot reader, okay, or a witch tarot reader. I believe that you can spread your wings a little bit, start delving into things that into decks that you perhaps would not normally look at, okay, and create your own Gothic path within that deck. I'm not saying go and buy the Gummy Bear deck, okay, although it's a freaking cool deck and everyone should have it. But I am saying look at things that are slightly out of the box if you are Gothic. Don't only focus on, as I say, the sort of Anne Rice type of cliched things. Don't be a cliche goth or a cliched witch. Step out of your comfort zone and perhaps get some different stuff. Okay, right, I'm Matt from Tubby Tarot, and I will be back next Thursday with something completely different, so join me then. Until then, I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.